Magazine appeals to me because it's got males on the front and it's my kind of magazine.
Yeah, because I like rock and I like indie music, and plus the main cover is a well-known band which I enjoy.
Yeah, because it's the magazine's really well designed and it stands out to you and it looks interesting.
I liked it because it's well presented and the article is actually really well written and the contents page draws me in quite well.
The magazine did appeal to me because it immediately got my attention with the front cover, which I really liked, and it immediately tells me that it's going to be a rock magazine, which obviously I'm interested in, and so it draws me in and makes me want to read more.
This targets the male gender as there's 4 males on the front.
Is boys because they're more into like rock and stuff because they like to have a good time and they like to just do whatever.
I think the magazine is targeted towards boys because it's quite like in your face and aggressive, and like rock appeals more to that gender, really.
I'd also say that it's targeted towards males because there's quite a lot of red which is kind of associated with males, and also there is a female on the contents page, so that's made to attract males.
I believe that the magazine targets both genders, although I think it appeals slightly more to males because I feel like it's got the way it's designed and like even the font and the colours that are used, it looks more masculine. And with the people that are pictured are all tend to be all blokes, and just with less pictures of women, which I think would appeal more to blokes who are interested in rock music. Yeah.
The style of writing in the article appeals to the age of 17 to 25 years of age.
17 to 25-year-olds because rock is more like they have like more underground concerts and stuff which are in rough down areas, so it would appeal to more of the middle-aged people that can do what they want.
Yeah, I think it's targeted towards 17 and 25-year-olds because rock is more of a more attracts like older audiences and like something like Hot Fizz.
I thought it was 17 to 25 because the colours especially tell me that it's not aimed towards like a younger audience who'd be attracted by like bright colours, and also just the rock genre in general is kind of made for those older teenagers.
I think the age range it targets is 17 to 25 because it involves a lot of recent or like popular bands that are still around now, and I think I think for under 16s it would be a bit too mature just because of like the writing and the type of music. But I don't believe many under 16 would be as interested in this kind of music.
I feel that the genre of the magazine is indie rock, as the title of it's raw and it reminds me of a rock festival.
I think the genre is rock, and you can tell because of the slogan underneath the masthead and the masthead because it's raw, which is like a really like loud like sound, so it tells you that it's rock.
I think it's rock because like the color scheme is really like links to rock because it's really like aggressive and like full of colors that link to it like black and red, and it's just has that attitude, that's just like rock.
I'd also say it's rock mainly because of the clothing that a lot of the people are wearing, and also the kind of vocabulary and the colours are kind of more aggressive and standing out.
Immediately, I would say a rock magazine. The colours that are used and the way the photos are used and what photos that have been used, it just immediately looks more that genre. It's like other genres are more feminine or do use different colours and stuff like that. And the kind of bands that the magazine are talking about, I think to me it's quite obvious that it's a rock magazine.
I feel that the 3 pages in the magazine go really well together, as everybody in the magazine is wearing the same sort of style of clothing, which represents indie rock.
I think the pages do suit because they all follow the same colour scheme and they have the same style of images, and the clothing fits together really well, and you've got instruments in the background which show the genre really well.
Yeah, I think the pages all link together because they have like the same like style and color scheme, and they all have the same theme and like information, so it all links.
I'd also say that the magazine goes together because all of the background colours are the same. All of the clothing choices are pretty close together, and also the mastheads on all the pages as well.
3 pages are really well suited together. They look like they all have the same theme, they all have the same colour scheme, and it stays consistent throughout the style of writing, the people that are used in the pictures. Yeah, I think it looks like they're not just put together randomly. That there's obviously been some thought about how to say it, how to set it out, and keeping it consistent throughout the 3 pages.
The front cover, the 4 lads on the front look like a band, and the fonts that represent the magazine look really rocky and represent the genre.
I like on the contents page how there's 2 posters in the bottom left corner because it shows like the background and it shows that drums and stuff, which I like as well. So it shows that there might be drummers, so I'd be intrigued to look at that.
I like the writing style because it really it is really well written and it's descriptive and it grabs you. And I like the color scheme because it's very eye-catching and impactful.
I like the difference in the front because it shows that someone's taken a lot of time to design the magazine, and it also draws your attention more by not being the same plain look. And also I like all of the pictures because they're very well taken and they've clearly been had a lot of thought going to them.
It's the picture of the 4 lads on the 3rd page, all looking down on the camera. I think this gives it more of a rocky edge and makes them look like a proper rock band. The second thing that stands out for me is the in the mix section on the 2nd page, where it gives you a list of bands and the story that's been written about them, such as like Kasabian, is it 2017 their year. I think it makes me want to read on and to see what all these stories have to say. So they're the 2 things that have jumped out for me.
Okay, I feel the ethnicity of this targeted at is white people, as there's white people on the front cover.
I think we all think that it's targeted at white males because it's just rock is more associated with white males, and it's not like a genre like hip hop, which would be targeted at like Afro Caribbeans and stuff like that.
From the look of the rock magazine, I think it would be predominantly white. White people reading this. Sorry, I think this because it's all white people that have been photoed in the magazine, and I think the genre rock, I think, is predominantly white anyway. So I think that's the main kind of people that would be reading this magazine.
I feel the colours that they're wearing go really well together, as black and red really clash, and that represents the rock genre really well.
I like the colour scheme because it's like really in your face because red stands out, and it also has connotations of stop because that's what all stop signs have, like they have a red on it. And the black contrasts it as well with the white, as you've got 2 opposite colours and also a bright colour.
I like the colour scheme because it links to the genre of rock, because like reds and blacks are quite aggressive and it's quite impactful and it grabs your attention when you look at it.
I like the most of the black in the colour scheme because that connotes rock mostly, and also the red shows it's a male magazine.
I do like the colour scheme. I think it gives it a more it makes it look like a real rock magazine, rather than there's no confusion in what genre it's going to be. It's definitely going to be rock, and that's what I like about it. That jumped out at me straight away, and I like the fact that it's kept consistent the whole way through. There's no real change up, so I like the fact that there's one theme being kept the whole way through the magazine.
I feel that the article is really good. It's got parts of free flowing, and it's got Q&A in it. It's got quotes from the band members themselves, and it really incorporates everything to make an all well-rounded article.
The thing I like about the article is that it's got different sections explaining each member of the band, and I also like how the text goes around the picture. I think that's a really nice effect, and how the picture isn't too small and spreads across both sides.
I like the article because the photo shows off the whole band, and I think it's quite well written and interesting, and tells you a lot of facts about the band that you wouldn't normally know.
The main thing I like about the article is the fact that there are capital letters starting at the start of each paragraph, so that you get drawn into the next paragraph rather than just kind of droning on.
What I like about it is the fact that it's all about this. It's all the same genre. It's kept predominantly rock, and it's all about bands that as there are recent bands that are still playing, but there's also ones that maybe slightly going out of fashion, such as like Black Sabbath. I know they've done their last tour recently, but there's still stories on about them. And so I like the fact that it's got the mix of the new and the old, but they're kept in the same genre.
I feel that the font on the front cover really represents the genre of rock as it pops out, as well as the colours clashing together, which really makes you look at the cover and pick it out.
The thing I like about the front cover is that it's got the band in the main cover line, and it's got different text saying exclusive, and I also like how it's using triples to say epic, extraordinary, and bold, which really stands out and gives the band a good.
I like the front cover because when you look at it, it very catches your eye immediately because of all the colours, and I think it links really well to the genre of rock, so you know it's about a rock band. So.
I think the front cover does a really great job of drawing you in because it's got loads of different fonts, it's got loads of different font sizes, it's got loads of colours, so it draws you in instantly.
It definitely draws me in. Straight away I see the band and the cover, which looks really interesting, and I want to know why they're on the front cover and what story has been written about them. As well as that, things like the 15 free posters inside. There's something about Black Sabbath that makes me want to read more about the story, because that's one of my favourite bands. So yeah, all the little pop-ups around the edge, and all the bands that they mention. There's 3 bands mentioned at the top that like one of them's Sum 41, I think. All of them, it's obviously it just shows it's a rock magazine straight away. You can tell that from the start, and it jumps out at me straight away, and it draws you into, because I want to read more about these bands that I like.
I feel that the main cover line's done really well, as it represents the rule of thirds, which really draws it to the eye and picks it out from everything else.
My favourite feature has got to be the cover lines because they're all different and have different fonts, colours, and they have strokes as well, which really stands out and tells you which cover lines are which.
My favourite part has to be probably the colour scheme, because it links really well to the genre of rock, and it's very eye-catching.
My favourite part's probably the masthead, because it actually shows you all of the main kind of house colours of the magazine, like all the white, black and red, so that you get to know the magazine before you even open it.
Definitely, the main one that jumps out for me is the main image, the 4 lads that have been photoed all the way through, that have been pictured all the way through. I think the main one on the front cover, that really draws me in. I've already mentioned it a couple of times in the previous questions, but yeah, it really draws me in. It makes it known to me that it's a rock magazine straight away, and I think because of that picture, it makes me immediately think I'm gonna like this magazine. I'm gonna enjoy the read.